What is up, you guys? This is Megan, and this is This Past Romance. That was a lot of thises for an intro, but we're working on it. Welcome to my very first video, where today I'm reviewing the BookTube Newbie Tag, created by Brenda C. I hope this is not the controversial one, because apparently there is a controversial one. So fingers crossed this is not it. Sorry the lighting sucks. That's all I got. It's in front of a window, but it is currently it's 8:03. So doing the best with what we got. I've been really busy today. So anyway, BookTube Newbie Tag, created by Brenda C. Question number 1 is, why did you start this channel? So the honest answer is because my friend Tamika at Library of Tomes made me. But the other answer is that I love to read, and I've always loved to read romance books, and Tamika was like, hey, there's a real kind of market for someone like you. So here we are. I just want to share my thoughts and opinions on books, because I sometimes have very different opinions on books that are really popular. Yeah. So question number 2. What are some fun and unique things you bring to BookTube? My accent. I'm from the middle of nowhere in Kentucky, in eastern Kentucky specifically. So, what are you gonna do? It's here. She loud and proud. It comes out often, but it doesn't sound like that unless I exaggerate it. So, also, I bring a perspective to some of the book ideas that I have. Not book ideas, but like book video ideas that I have. A unique perspective. So I'm pretty excited for that. Number 3, what are you most excited for about this new channel? I'm very excited to have a platform. First of all, I've never had that. Number 2, I'm very excited to just have people who also like to read romance books to talk to about them. If you like happily ever afters and a romance that isn't never going to happen to you in a million years, but also like a Hallmark Channel movie romance, but you make fun of Hallmark Channel movies, then this is your channel. This is where you need to be, because that's who I am as a person. Question number 4, why do you love reading? I've always used reading as an escape. It's always been my thing. Like, I grew up reading. It wasn't really something the rest of my family did, but my aunt got me into it when I was little, kind of encouraged my reading, and here we are now, however many years later, and I still love it. Number 5, what book or series got you into reading? So when I was little, when I was in like 2nd or 3rd grade, there was this whole section of our library that you couldn't touch. Maybe 4th grade. I don't remember. There was a whole section of the library you couldn't go to in my elementary school if you had not hit a certain score on your accelerated reader tests, or you were not of a certain age. And once I hit my score, I would go over there and I checked out these books. I don't remember anything else about them other than they were set in like the 18 and 1900s. They were historical fiction books, but these girls, it was like the diary of the girl, and you got to learn about what was going on in her life and how they lived at that time, and I loved it. And then I kind of fell out of reading for a while, and then in about 7th grade I found Sarah Dessen books, and that's really when I got back into it. Love Sarah Dessen, still do, still my favorite. And in high school I found Mitch Albom. I also really liked the Twilight books when I was in about 7th and 8th grade. So there's a couple options there. It depends on what point in my life you want to ask about. Number 6, what questions would you ask your favorite booktubers? My number 1 favorite booktuber is Tamika over at Library of Tomes, because she has been my best friend for many, many, many years. I love her very much. I talk to her every single day. I do not have any questions for her because I literally ask her questions all the time. My second favorite booktuber is Bree over at In 11 Words, and my first question for her would be, can we be best friends? And my second question for her would be, why did you start your channel? I'm genuinely curious because I've not seen a video where she talks about it, and I think that that would be something I would really like to know. Like, I'm really interested in why people start their channels. Number 7, what challenges do you think starting a booktube will be the hardest to overcome? So I am currently getting my master's. So, like, I need another thing on my plate. So I work a full-time job. I'm getting my master's. I have to read at some point. I have a paper due every week in my classes. So fitting this into my schedule and actually getting in a routine is going to be the hardest challenge to overcome. Also, not being camera shy and to stop looking at the viewfinder, because my camera like flips up so I can see it. Not looking at the viewfinder, actually looking at the lens and talking to you guys, and maybe not using my hands so much. I make no promises. It's been this way my whole life. This is not going to change. Question 8, when did you start reading? From a very young age. I don't have a specific age, but I've been a reader for a long time. I love to read, I love to write, and writing never stuck, but reading has been a big thing for me my whole life. So, number 9, where do you read? Mostly in the car. Like, if I'm going to actually like pick my Kindle up, considering my Kindle, if I'm actually going to pick my Kindle up and read a book, I'm going to probably be in the car. Honestly, it's where I get the most of my reading done. Not driving, of course, but like if my family takes a trip or something, I read a lot. My bed, physically, like if I'm going to read on my Kindle, my bed, but also my office, like, but not physically with my Kindle. I have Audible, Escape, and I use it a lot at work, so that's helpful. That's where a lot of reading gets done also. And finally, question number 10, what kind of books do you read? Pretty exclusively romance at this point in my life. Pretty exclusively happily ever afters. Those are my thing. I like to know the book has a happy ending, because in my opinion, life sucks enough. Why add a sad book, right? So yeah, I like to read romance books. Sports romance, it's typically Brother's Best Friend. If you've ever seen a Library of Tomes video where she talks about a Brother's Best Friend book and having a friend who really loves Brother's Best Friend romances, I'm Megan, I'm the friend. I grew up with an older brother and I always had a crush on his friends, and yeah, so those hit home with me. So yeah, that's it. That was the last question. This has been Megan, and this has been This Past Romance, and this has once again been a lot of thises.